You guys and friends, and now it's
There we go.
all right.
Well, I have no friend. No, just kidding.
Welcome in, everybody, to another episode of the Progression Fantasy Podcast. My name is Joel, and today we are celebrating the launch of Stumbling Up. Let me bring that up here.
Woohoo!
Woo!
Yeah,
Yeah.
made it.
We did it. Well, you did it. I did nothing. Yeah, congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah. All right. Oh, there we go. Yes, congratulations on your launch for Stumbling Up. Big hype.
Thank you.
Big hype.
Yeah, super excited to get this out in the world. It's been a journey, and I was talking to Joel before, and it's like I think I actually started writing Stumbling Up about a year ago, and yeah, it's nice to have it like finally here and launched. I've been talking about it for a while.
Very excited.
Yeah, and Jen's in the chat.
Yeah,
they're calling out, and it's a simultaneous format launch, which took a couple small miracles.
Right. I was surprised because there wasn't a pre-order option. So I was up 3 o'clock in the morning, like, come on, load. hopefully, and it worked.
Yeah,
you got it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, it's funny because for pre-orders, there's this really old school process where you have to email ACX and give them a bunch of information, and then they email you back, and you actually have to have the audio files like delivered, or like be somebody that they trust to have that into that like guaranteed delivery or whatever. And they were like, well, we can put up an ACX pre-order on March 13th, but that's your launch date. So
hey, Brian's here.
I was like, yeah, okay. Hey,
Brian, welcome.
The album slug himself.
What's shaking, everybody?
Well, yeah. We're talking Stumbling Up now.
Stumbling Up? What's that? Have I heard of that?
Oh, I don't know. It's a book that came out today.
Weird.
Yeah.
Right on.
I was telling them how I was up at 3 a.m. waiting for this book to come out, and was very excited when I got the Audible option.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. As soon as I saw that, I was like, points going to Audible. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's super exciting. I've been listening to it all day. It's been nice.
I've been trying to write, so I haven't been listening to it all day, but tomorrow.
And I must say, Jeremy, you knocked it out of the park with this. So did Jessica. Like,
thank you.
Phenomenal job. It sounds so great.
It was so much fun to work on. I mean, just from the beginning with the bog quacker and meeting people and figuring out how it's all going in the beginning. Like, I think from reading the first chapter or two, I went, oh, this is going to be a special book. It was really great.
Yeah, it's definitely very unique, very interesting writing style, because like the main character doesn't feel like he doesn't have that main character energy, and the supporting cast around him is just so strong, with just Leo and Tandy and Meredith, and it's just I'm 100% rooting for Cole like all the time, and then but like the rest of his party's just so freaking strong. So I'm like, I don't know who I relate to more.
By main character, are you referring to the slug or?
Right? See, that's the thing. So like,
yeah,
to me, like Cole is the main character.
Yeah, he is theoretically the main character. Just like Carl is theoretically the main character, right?
Yeah.
Hey, look, you wrote a story about a pet, so
Yeah, there's, I mean,
Your pet human.
yeah, there's a lot of depth that I've put in Richard's story, and I mean, ultimately, with how the series planned arcs are and stuff, there's a lot about Richard. A lot of it actually does have to do with Richard, but it's also, I mean, Cole's part of it. It's kind of, it gives maybe like I'm not the hero energy a little bit, except that, you know, and I'm not the hero, like Oren's, you know, pulling his friend out of, out of the path of danger all the time. But this is, you know, the Cole is the one kind of getting pulled out of dangerous path or shoved into it. You know, there's moments where.
Yeah, it goes both ways.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So my question was, who is your favorite character? And that goes for everyone.
Yeah. Who wants to go first?
I do really like Leo. I like the frontline, big heavy hitter archetype, but I like Leo, and I can understand him with just like bouncing around, trying to figure out what his purpose is in life, and kind of waiting for the system to give it to him. So he just kind of keeps bouncing from job to job in the beginning and kind of pre the actual start of the book. That's kind of seemed to have been his life, is looking for that purpose, and then really being able to lean into being a hero, going, okay, this is it, I'm going to be an adventurer. So I liked him a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like every time I ask someone about this, they all have different answers.
Yeah. I try to make the characters pretty distinct.
Yeah.
Leo's kind of fun. The image that I have in him, if you've seen like the Melissa McCarthy's Ghostbusters, and Chris Hemsworth is the secretary, and he's just like almost too stupid to exist. Like I didn't make Leo quite that stupid, but like that like visualization of, you know, here's this big brute, adorable big brute that, you know, you kind of can't help but root for. Yeah. And I am really enjoying the voice that you gave him, Jeremy, because he's just got this like do like
Yeah, everything's great. What?
He's operatic.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
I'm a huge fan of Cole. Cole has this not only is he given the narration, he's giving this opinion. And sometimes you look at him and it's like, why do you think that way? And this would be so much easier if you just examined yourself. And I think that's part of the story.
Yeah. It's really weird because like he gets a skill like before the series even starts of what's it called, where you're like judging yourself.
Self-critic. Yeah.
Self-critic. Yes, he actually has a self-critic skill that goes off randomly. So like randomly in the story, it'll just be like, man, you are a terrible person. Like, how could you mess up this badly? But no, it is interesting to see him like learn from those mistakes. Yeah.
That particular skill is maybe like my biggest self-insert.
That's the industry. That's absolutely the industry.
Yeah. It is hard to be a writer from a, like, I mean, you're doing this thing. I have not worked as a creative for most of my life, and the act of creating is such an intimate, like, you're taking this chance, you're putting it out there, and it's really hard to tell if you're doing it good or right or, you know, whatever. You know, so constantly, like, I think my friends are tired of me being like, is this trash? I think if I say that one more time, piano might just hit me with a baseball bat. I also want to know why I'm like this, but yeah.
We actually do mention, Reck, you've got self-critic on. Just out there.
Go turn it off. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, oh shit, dang it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
No,
Cole's fun. Yeah.
I was gonna say my favorite character. Well, it definitely is Meredith, but actually, like just recently, because I just recently finished the series. Ash, getting introduced to Ash, I just love the interplay between him and Cole, because Cole, he knows that he's from another world and things don't work the same as like the world that they're from, and so he'll just fuck with him and he'll just be like, oh, we should put missing persons on wine kegs and instead of milk cartons. And it's like, no, that's not how that works.
Yeah. Yeah, Ash is a ton of fun. He gets a pretty big story arc in book 2. He's one of the main party members for a while, and I like his energy. I've got a friend that kind of embodies this energy that like just like excited and over explaining and really nerding out about the things that he nerds out about. And yeah, Ash is a lot of fun. I tried to give everybody a really distinct personality that comes through, and just kind of their interactions with Cole and stuff. And it's funny because you do get these like eye roll moments out of Cole, because Ash is so enthusiastic and so in your face. It's just like, it's like 6 a.m. guy. Like, bro, like please shut up about the, fuel rods, realignment. So yeah, he sticks around for quite a bit in the series. So I'm glad you like him, Joel. Yeah. It's funny none of you guys said Richard, because a lot of people will be like, Richard's the guy. Why isn't this book about Richard? And it's like, well, it kind of is, but like, I think for me, writing, Richard and Meredith are the most fun to write, because they both have this like just biting sarcasm, element to them, and it just makes them fun to like banter with and to like just engage with the team. I think that I really like Tandy, honestly. Like, she's one of my favorite. I really like Tandy. She's just this like calm, confident, but also over her head sort. And she's got more depth to her than you initially kind of see, but she's got like all these like family pressures on her to be a specific person. And I absolutely identify with that in my life. Like, just the pressure to be, one type of person, and the pain of breaking away from that and trying to like do your own course correction, and like maybe bringing some people with you, and then you feel guilty about it. And like, she's got this like complicated sort of relationship with everybody too. But she's just got that, like, she is like, maybe not like, I'm gonna take charge, but she knows what needs to get done, and she's not gonna let folks not get it done. I like her. She's very confident, practical.
Yeah, I think she definitely makes a great leader. She's very much the person that says, okay, this is what we're doing. Let's make a plan and not just
right. Like, Ash would talk about it too much. Cole would overthink it 18 ways. You wouldn't want to execute Leo's plans.
It involves a lot of charging forward.
And, a lot of Leroy Jenkins moments. And Richard, I will say notably, like, Richard has this space where he's like almost too powerful to make a plan, right?
He's very indifferent.
Yeah, he's trying not to really put his slime on the scale and change the outcome. And I think of him as, he's like this theoretical mentor. He's not a very good mentor, but I've got kids, and there's these moments when you're like raising your kids where you're like, oh, that's a bad idea, and you could save your kid, but like it's actually, you just got to be patient, like sit back and be like, yep, go for it.
You don't want to undulate
figure it
one
out.
way or another, right?
Right. Yeah. You don't want to. Yeah.
We're here
Yeah.
to make sure that you don't have the worst outcomes, but these little bad ones, that this is how you learn.
Mhm. There's this chapter. I'm gonna put it out on my website, but there's this bonus chapter that I wrote for Royal Road where Meredith and Richard get drunk one night and they're talking, and the trial dungeon that everybody goes through, Richard had to use like his really great like once a month powers like several times to reset the dungeon because the dungeon was triggering off of whatever thoughts Cole was having when he entered the dungeon. And so the first like 2 or 3 instances of the dungeon were like unsurvivable. Like like I'm dropping you in lava, or like the whole party just like instant wipes. And so Richard would use his like OP powers to get them to a dungeon that they could actually survive. Yeah.
Yeah. I remember you telling me about that. So about the bonus chapters, did you end up implementing them, or
Yeah.
is
So
that just something that's going to be on Patreon or what?
Yeah. So I mean, they're all on Royal Road, or they were. I've stubbed them. So since I stubbed them like last week, I haven't put them somewhere, but the plan is to put them on, I guess, the website. I think they still exist on Patreon. So if you're a Patreon member, you can see them. But the plan was to put them on the website, drive people to like subscribe to my newsletter, which I don't really have set up yet, but like that, that was going to be the thing. And then maybe eventually put out like a little side quests with the party if people want it enough. The stories are really haphazard because I was doing like Patreon polls, like people could vote for which story arc they want, and they're all from like non-Cole's point of view. And since some people in Royal Road complained about it because they were like, wow, this really throws me out of the story because it's a different, point of view or whatever. And other people were like, give me more of Richard. I actually had this problem where people just would only vote for the Richard chapters. And I was like, I really want to tell the story about Leo, or the Leo lovers, and
then there was the poll where there was, we actually want the geopolitical research on the finances of.
Yeah. And I was like, like, I do not understand you guys at all.
Let's talk about the economy of Woodston.
Yeah. It's like, let's talk about the sheep industry and how much the quality of wool cost ratio is.
Hey, commodities are really
like,
important.
One of those things that happen when you just pull ideas, you just end up with a Bodie McBoatface scenario.
100%. I have realized that I should never put something on a poll that I am not wanting to do, because you guys, it's like you have like this like Reck's gonna hate this chapter. Yeah.
How many of those chapters do you have?
I probably have like a dozen or so. Yeah, I mean, some of them are for book 2 too. You get like, yeah, I don't know. There's a whole like witch. There's like 3 witch chapters about like how did Richard end up in the compost bin. There's a chapter where him and Meredith get drunk. What else is there, Brian? There's one about Cole's hammer and what happens with Cole's hammer.
That's book 2, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I have lost track.
Yeah, there's a few. Yeah, I just need to do something with them now.
It seemed like once a week or every other week there was a poll up for something new and exciting.
It at the time, so like during launch, I mean, there's like everybody will give you advice on Royal Road on like how to grow your followers and stuff. So I had if we hit like 50 followers, then I'll write a chapter. If we hit 200 followers, I'll write a chapter. So I had all these like goals. I'm not sure any of it worked, but people got free like extra bonus chapters for different stuff. but I haven't done one in a while because, especially with stubbing off, you don't get new followers that often on Railroad. So I have to find some other way to reward people.
Yeah. It's honestly, I feel like if anyone else wrote this series with like a cast this strong and like well developed, like I don't think they would have done it from like a first person perspective, you know?
Yep.
And so just the fact that you have the chops that like to actually stick to Cole's perspective and it just worked out so well. And yeah.
I used to have it's like hard to admit this, but I used to have like a low opinion of first person like narratives, stories. And it's like one of those things where like some people do it well and some people don't. A lot of like beginner authors that are doing like fanfic or whatever kind of do first person, and so you do get some like not as good first person. But I actually like when I wrote that first chapter like 6 different ways, and half of them were in third and half of them were in first. And I like polled a bunch of people, and everybody I polled like uniformly was like, no, first person, that sounds so like first person is where you need to be. And I was like, oh, really?
Yeah.
But I honestly, it's amazing because it's a real challenge, because there's all of these things that you want to show the reader, but you are stuck in Cole.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of things that happen that like you, the reader, get, and Cole does not have a clue, but I've got to like show it in a way that it gets it across. And yeah, I mean, there's yeah, it's just a fun challenge. It's been a challenge, and I think it's worked out really, really fun and well.
I would agree.
Yeah.
Alternatively, when you're coming up with different points of entry to talk about what's happening, and you're not in first person, there's only so many ways you can say and he and he and he. So so you really have to mix it up, and having that first person gives you the leverage to feel it, to experience it, to hear it, all the senses and the opinions, and to do the self inserts. And it's
Yeah.
Speaking of senses, Cole has some really cool abilities. One of them being heartbeat.
Mm-hmm.
And just the way you wrote that ability was, I just thought it was so cool. Because basically, so he can sense how his party's doing. And he does that by like each member of his party sounds like a different instrument.
Mm-hmm.
So like Meredith is like a cello or something, and then like Tandy's like a violin, obviously like the strings with her weaving, and then yeah, it's really interesting the way you wrote that ability and introduced it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was actually one of the chapters I had a lot of self-critic trigger on, because it gets metaphorical and more touchy-feely, and I was like, I don't know, this is what I want to put in my fantasy lit RPG. Like, and I remember Jen, actually my spouse, was like, no, you keep, this is my favorite chapter you've written so far, you're keeping. And I was like, oh crap, I've got to keep it. And it's actually become one of my favorite chapters too.
I absolutely agree with this 100%.
Yeah,
It,
but I almost got nixed because I don't know, I have this thing about, I think I get in my head about like, what does the audience want out of this sort of story? Because as much as you don't want to write to the market, you've got to understand the market's expectations about like what a story is.
mhm.
And I think it'll be interesting as the story goes on, and I have a fan base or I don't, and like how much I care about what the market's expectations are, and if that changes how I write you know, the rest, you know, I think as the story progresses, I'll probably loosen up about, you know, like being self-critical, because it either won't matter or it doesn't matter right anymore.
Yeah. So my feelings on it is that too many times in like progression fantasy lit RPG, you have these abilities portrayed as just like stat screens or just descriptions. So to actually have the character feel what their ability is like and being able to portray that in a way that makes sense, even if it's like metaphysical, it's still really cool, and it adds an element of magic to back into the system. And I feel like that's something that the audience is looking for. They're looking for what is that magic in their system. They want worlds that they can explore that are like something that they wouldn't be able to find in like video games or like traditional fantasy series. We also have
Stacy's gonna join us. Yeah.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey, Stacy.
Thanks for having me, Reck.
Yeah,
Super
thanks for
excited
joining.
for you today.
Yeah, it's a big day. It's good. Welcome.
Thank you. Sorry I'm late.
No, you're good.
You're all good. We're just chilling, talking about stumbling up, having a good time.
Nice.
Yeah, so Jeremy, what did you think about the music chapter, the heart chapter?
I liked it. I liked it a lot. I think I agree with a lot of what Joel was saying. I think we can go through a lot of stories where you kind of get a new ability, get a new power or whatever, and it just kind of gets tacked on, and it's cool. That's now a new thing that we have. We get to move on with it. And having Cole struggle with it at first, because at first it was, it was not something he could use. It was just kind of destroying him. That's all he could deal with, was all of these discordant tones. And having this walk through of like, we're going to slowly analyze things, slowly figure out things, and then him being able to go back to being able to reach out and kind of touch those different sounds, really gave us a better idea of what it was like and feel like it's a part of him instead of just another ability that got bolted on the side that he gets now.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was really good.
I feel like he does that with a lot of his abilities. Like even with his gills, he talks about how like he has trouble breathing and like yeah. So,
yeah, he doesn't get a lot of stuff that's just, oh, cool, this is your upgrade now, and it just is better, and everything is better. It's a thing to deal with, and try to incorporate it into the way that he works.
Yeah, absolutely.
He also
So
has
I
to
hear
learn.
we're talking book 2 here as well.
I mean, I haven't gotten there yet. So.
I mean, you and Brian have the insight into book 2 and where it's going, and if that trend continues.
Well, Patreon and Royal Road are great resources for people that are interested in book 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I did not pay Brian for that.
I just got a Cash App. What are you talking about?
Yeah. We did talk a little bit, Stacy. I'm curious who your favorite character is in book 1, or book, like across the 2 books. Who is jumped to the front of the line for you?
I just really love Cole, and I like the dynamic with Richard. But quite frankly, just the general narrator and the chapter headings and the humor of that. It's going outside of the characters for me that I just absolutely love, coming across those few moments where I've got to stop reading because I got to chuckle.
Yeah. I did want to mention the chapter titles because one of my favorites was 99 Problems and a Lich is Just One. Yeah. That made me giggle.
Yeah, for sure. I especially like the chapter art for it. Like that iron tree with the, you know, jaws coming out of it. I mean, they were so on point for what was coming up. And yeah, I really enjoyed having those moments of pause when all this action is happening, to be able to, oh gosh, that was so good.
Yeah. Yeah, I just got the chapter art for book 2, and I'll just say that Morpheus is amazing artist, and he's really starting to like hone in on Richard. Some of Richard's expressions and just some of these moments. There's like some real gems in book 2 too. I think just like, you know, it's not that the writing in book 1 is bad or whatever. It's just as you like live into the characters in the world, you loosen up as a writer. And I think it's just going to get better and better. And that seems true with the art too. Like it's just, yeah, it's going to be great.
I mean, I know this is a taboo topic, but what I really enjoy about reading certain series is the growth of an author. And the Twilight series has such a phenomenal demonstration of an author progressing and getting better, because Twilight is pretty fluffy. Not that the last one isn't fluffy, but the writing is so exponentially better. So I'm really enjoying this ride with you, Reck, because I have seen these differences in this growth happening in your writing.
Yeah. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah. It's one of those things. I think a lot of writers, and I don't know, Jeremy, you'll have to talk from like a narrator perspective, but I see a lot of writers get stuck because you hear it all the time. They're like, well, I'm going to publish when I feel like I've mastered writing. I'm good enough to publish or get out there or whatever. And I think people forget that whatever you do, whether you've got a different career, you're writing, nobody gets to a point where they've done it. Like they're like, I mean, maybe Brandon Sanderson, I think he's still, you know, he's still progressing too, right? But like, it's a journey. And if you don't put it out there and you don't like get going, and like, even if your stuff, I know the last book in Stumbling Up is going to be better than the first book in Stumbling Up, but I'm never going to write that really good last book in Stumbling Up in the series if I didn't write that first book, and if I didn't have a book that was maybe not as good, right? And you just gotta bite the bullet and put it out there, and then try not to groan in 3, 4, or 5 years. Because it's still good, and it's still probably somebody's favorite book or whatever, like it's possible. But like, I don't know, so Stumbling Up is my 4th book, and my other 3 books are good. My first one is is definitely my most struggled, but each book progresses and has really changed my writing. I had one book where I was just
trying around here somewhere.
I had one book where I was trying to figure out plot, and then I was trying to figure out like party dynamics, how you like have parties and like do a game system. And I had another book where I was like more on the emotional side of like a kind of romancy sort of cozy fantasy. And then it all kind of accumulated in Stumbling Up. And there's a lot of things that I'm trying on Stumbling Up that I haven't tried before, like the first person narration, and Stumbling Up I purposely wrote to be narrated, which there's things that you consider when you're writing for narration that you don't when you're just putting it out in the world. And certainly like the party and the people are a lot more complex than my other books. This book is twice as long as my other books were. So like there's just a lot of things here that are as different that I'm tackling, but I wouldn't have done this without having that first book that I won't give you the name of because I'm not sure I want people reading it anymore, but like yeah.
It's not Augmented, is it?
It is. Augmented was my first book. Yeah.
It's really funny because I read it and I enjoyed the story very much. But I do understand what you're saying, that your writing just moves on and it develops and becomes much more of a flow. And so it's interesting if that flow that I feel in Stumbling Up is because you're writing for a narration, or if it's
Augmented was my first book, and it's good. It's very it's a more sophisticated book. It's more technological and stuff, but it was super tight. Like it just like very tight writing, and I had this progression where I realized that sometimes you have to let moments and characters and stuff breathe. And I feel like that's what's going to happen Stumbling Up too. Like I'm going to look back on book one, and it's not that it's a bad book, but I'm going to be like, oh, it's just, I wish, like even listening to the narration, I was like, wow, they really like left that tunnel, and almost died really quick. Like maybe I should have had a moment there and let them breathe.
Well, Brian, you read it on Royal Road or Patreon. Did you also read the finished?
So I read it in chunks, and then when I read the full thing, it was from an editing standpoint. So it was pretty much going through and looking for parallels and things. So I didn't really get the luxury of reading it as a relaxing read. So I'm really looking forward to one of the things that gets lost when you're writing these episodic little chunks is the timing. And when you have someone reading the story, or if you have the opportunity to go back and read it recreationally, it's a completely different flow. And so I'm really looking forward to listening to that tomorrow.
I totally feel you. Like, I just want to go take a bath and lock the door and finally read it, because when I was doing the Braille, I cannot tell you how many times I've gone back and reread something, because I would start reading the story and then be like, wait a minute, this is not what I'm supposed to be doing, and then go back. So I'm looking forward to just enjoying it for the sake of enjoying it as a whole.
Yeah. Well, and that actually brings up a really good point. I wanted to just mention that thank you, Stacy, for putting it in Braille for everybody. Really, it took a lot of effort, and I really appreciate it. And it opens up a whole new audience to Stumbling Up and Lit RPG. And thank you so much for doing that.
Yeah,
That's very
you're
big.
welcome. I'm super excited about it. Yeah, I many friends and family are very tired of me talking about a slug or wreck. Like, oh, this is just the first book. You don't know.
I go into Starbucks every morning with the slug mug. So
Yeah.
so they are all intimately aware that this is release day.
Nice. Awesome.
And my family is also tired.
I'm surprised that didn't show up and everyone was wearing the slug ear.
Yeah. I just got Jeremy's box in the mail today because I'm a bad author.
I'm excited to get it and see all the things that are in it.
Yeah. So Jeremy, do you see that with narrators too, where people are hesitant to like jump into narration because they're afraid of their skill level or what they're
I think that's a lot of artists, just in general. Any art that you jump into, it's nerve-wracking to get started and to want to do it. And 5 books down the road, you look back and go, wow, I really could have done that better. I don't want to go back and listen to some of the books that I put out earlier, because I'd go, well, if I could go back and redo it, I would do it so much better. I would be so much better at that one. But I had to put that one out to get to where I'm at now. Yeah. If I hadn't done them, I would still be at that level.
Yeah, I think there's a great quote that's like, if you don't look back at your life and cringe, then you haven't grown, or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And that's a great quote.
That's a good one.
Yeah. Do I think firmly too that there is growth that happens when you put your art in a public space. That doesn't happen when you keep it on your computer and you go back and you like pat it, right? And I don't know. And honestly, I don't know whether it comes from like the commentary of people responding to it, or if it's just like there's some switch that's thrown and in your head that when you put it, like when you actually put it out in the public and you know people are going to read it. I don't know what exactly spurs on that growth, but I think that putting your art out there is absolutely part of that step too. Like it's actually, you're going to grow. It's not that you don't grow when you're like in your room by yourself, but like you really, it accelerates everything.
I think kind of forces you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I wrote for
Really-
years and didn't share it with anybody, and I'm not sure I got better, but not significantly better.
Well, thanks for going forth and sharing it.
Mhm.
Yeah. Thanks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
So, Telasan has a great question.
Oh, there were steps.
Yeah. What were you most nervous about as far as the launch goes?
This is funny coming from Tal because he just had a launch like last week. I'm throwing this question back at you, Tal. I think, I think book 4, hopefully I'll handle this a little bit better, but there's always this like huge expectation when you launch a book. And the reality is, unless lightning strikes, right? The reality is maybe not as much success as you hope right out of the gate, right? And that doesn't mean that. I think a lot of people internalize that and they're like, well, then my book was trash, and that's not it. It just hasn't found its audience yet. And so I think like part of me is afraid that in a week or two, sales will start dropping off and I'll be like, oh, so much effort and it didn't go anywhere. And I have this like mantra in my head. It's a marathon, not a sprint, right? I just talked to Dave Baxter like last week and he was like, yeah, I was just doing the series. And then like book 5 was what made it, take off and get like go. And he's like, who knew book 5 was the thing that was going to do it? And it's like, yeah, like, okay, good thank you. I think he was put in my schedule for podcasts at the right moment. I think equally terrifying would be like if lightning did strike and Stumbling Up just like completely blew up, and then like, oh my God, what do you do with that? Because there's ramifications to having a series blow up and a lot of pressure to having a series blow up. And I think I'm a little afraid of that too, if I'm being honest. Just because writing is a lot to balance, but then also like the schedule expectations and the responding to fans and all the rest of it becomes a lot too. So yeah, it's the stressed out little sea cucumber that's like, I don't know.
The fear of ending back in a back alley swilling Diet Coke behind a dumpster.
I don't know, Tal. I am nervous about it being successful and not being successful.
Well, I'm toasting to success. So
yeah, I appreciate that. And I think that's it too. Like, and that's what I just want to say. Like, thank you, Brian and Stacy. You two are like both like some of my core fans. And I think knowing how passionate the two of you are about Stumbling Up has really helped me understand that regardless of trolls or people that don't find it helpful or whatever, like I've got an audience that is going to dig this book, right? I just need to find the Stacys and the Brians of the world and get it in front of them,
Yeah, for sure. We're working on it.
Yeah.
So you have more people to text at 3:00 in the morning. What was the color of the shirt that in chapter 2, book 1? Was it yellow?
Okay. I'm just saying, if you are one of those neurodivergent people that remember every single detail about something that you read, I really need you as a committed fan. Because my memory is like Swiss cheese, and it is not possible for me to make a spreadsheet with enough facts in it. Yeah. Jen says, better you than me, Brian. It's true. Jen is really grumpy when you wake them up at 3 a.m.
Yeah, I'm no help. I'm just your daytime helper.
Yeah. You know, if I do ever text you at 3 a.m., I never expect a response. It's just if I don't text you at 3 a.m., I won't remember by 8 a.m.
Yeah,
I'm
2
so
books
happy that I'm
in.
not breaking expectations then.
Yeah, no.
After 2 manuscripts, now you tell me you're not expecting a response immediately.
I just shot myself in the foot. Brian's never going to respond. You're going to be like bleary-eyed control effing, like, which book was that in? I can't find it.
Now I'm conditioned. My sleep schedule's gone.
Yeah.
So, do we want to bring up the cover for
book 2?
For book 2?
Yeah, this is.
There you go. First
yeah.
look.
Oh, very cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I know you were talking about the like facial expressions.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Yeah, Richard. Like I like this Richard. The book 1's Richard is good. Book 2 is just like this evolution. Morpheus is working on books 3's cover right now.
So I do have book 1 as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I love I love Richard's face in that one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like on book 2 that Richard's fangs are bigger.
Mm-hmm.
Are they?
The,
A little bit, yeah.
A little bigger.
Yeah. We went back and forth. This book almost had Meredith on the front too, like swimming behind. And I had this whole conversation with Morpheus about, like, for me, it's not super important that the cover art is actually a real moment in the book, as long as it's like thematically accurate. And so he put Meredith like swimming behind Cole, which doesn't actually happen. Meredith's actually afraid to swim. Like she's not a good swimmer. And when I told him that, he was like, "Oh, well, then we can't." I was like, "Well, there goes Meredith." I was like, "Well, sorry guys, you're gonna have to wait another book or 2 to get Meredith on the cover." But yeah, no. Book 2, I'm not giving too much away. There's a water dungeon. Again, I like to have unique dungeons, and I think that one is. I haven't read anybody doing a water dungeon quite like I've done it. And it's a lot of fun. The monster in the background it's because of Brian.
Back up again.
Yeah, so we had this whole conversation. I actually thought that this was a Chicago cryptid called a Tully monster, because I misunderstood Brian at 3 a.m. one night when he was explaining this prehistoric monster. So like I write this monster into the book, this giant looming mesmer monster, right? And then I eventually just like go Google the thing that Brian's talking about, and it is a 4 centimeter long like bone, like skeleton that they found outside of Chicago. And I mean, it is creepy, as it's creepy, but it is certainly not this giant,
it's one of the weird horrors of the Cambrian explosion.
Yep. So I took some liberties with the size of the creature. but yeah.
Some of the like smallest sea creatures are the coolest. Like I don't know if you've ever seen like a dragon slug or something like that. They're like itty bitty, but they're like really, really cool. They have these like wings and yeah.
The Cambrian explosion is wild. A lot of the monsters in the beginning of Stumbling Up 2 come from this period where, so I'm in Kansas right now, and the only dinosaur skeletons you really find in Kansas are these sea creatures, and it's because Kansas was covered in a shallow sea during that time period, and so you get all these like wild like teeth coming out of their ears, like all these like bizarre sea creatures. And I actually went to the library and I found there's this lovely book called it's on the shelf somewhere. It's called like the Oceans of Kansas. And it inspired quite a bit of the underwater dungeon monsters. Yeah. So
That's cool.
So Jeremy, I hope you're good at like a gargly underwater voice.
I can make that happen. I can make.
Yeah.
Are we gonna do all the characters gargling underwater?
Just the first half of the book.
Yeah. It's mostly Cole, so yeah. Because he's got the gills, so he's the natural one to just toss into the ocean. Yeah.
Maybe we can add closed captioning to the audiobook. Just so that people
Yeah. But I'm excited for book 2. Right now, the thought is that we're going to launch book 2 before Lit RPG Con. I'm not going to give a date because schedules and stuff, but like, yeah, hopefully it's going to be out before Lit RPG Con, and then at least book 3 will also be out this year. I think Stacy blew her mind when I was like, yeah, maybe by March next year we'll have book 5 out. She's like, it's like, scheduling wise, it's possible. I mean, at some point I probably need to not just be such like pedal to the metal on it, but I mean, that's the whole thing, right? If it's book 5 that's gonna hit, we got to get to book 5, right?
That's a crazy goal.
I know, right?
that is absolutely.
There was all sorts of exclamation marks and question marks in that discussion. How is this going to happen?
Yeah. I'm gonna. I don't know. Jen was actually the one that was like, "Oh, well, you could do like book 3 by like August." And I'm like, I don't know. We'll see. But it's funny because like the end of book 2, I wrote in like 3 days. I wrote like 20 chapters at like 3 a.m. in the morning, and then I was afraid to show Brian because I was like, I don't know if I understand how to use its anymore.
It was creative. It was certainly creative.
Actually, I made him pinky swear to not judge me too hard because I gave him the raw data, which I really don't share with anybody. But yeah, I don't know. It's gonna partly is gonna be like getting in a routine and then having those moments of like the muse hits and just running with it and trying to figure out how to trigger that more often and more consistently. So yeah. But hey, between the 2 books, I've written like 270,000 words here in the last year, which it's not a J. Krause number, but it's a lot for me. Yeah.
And they're good words.
Yeah.
There's quality in there.
Yeah. Appreciate that. I am questioning why I write such long books at this point. I know it's like a genre thing, but like 140,000 words a book is a lot. Yeah, but that's good.
It was so weird reading it.
Credit's worth.
Right.
What was that, Stacy?
Well, it's just so weird reading it online and then getting the book in hand, because like reading it, I'm trying to remember something. Obviously, I remember it a lot better. It's easier just to flip through the pages. So I couldn't find things. And so I got the book in hand and I'm like, this is way far chunkier than what it felt reading in that format on.
Yeah. I actually, when I got the ARC copy of the book, and I mean, it's like double the size of my other books. I actually fell asleep, like snuggled to it the first night I had it because I was like, I finally felt like I'd written a book because it was like, you can't argue that it's not a book. Like that, I don't know, like it wasn't a short novella. It was like a real chunk that you could like had weight to it.
She's thick.
Yeah. Right. And only half of it is Morpheus's art, Yeah.
I need the physical book now.
Yeah, it's fun. I've got one right here. It's boom.
Do you want to show off some of this chapter art?
Yeah.
I'm just curious.
Yeah. Let's see. All right. There's a couple just doozies. One of my favorites, and we're gonna have like sticker sheets of some of these, but this is the goth club scene.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, he's got
a collar.
he's got a studded collar, and
That's
it's one of my favorite ones.
He's got little skulls drawn on his spots.
Yes.
That is the thing
I
that
remember
slays
that.
me.
That one was good. Yeah.
And that was all Morpheus. We've got like, I think we've turned into a meme on the Discord server. It's like your mom's mistake this way. Where's the spa? The spa.
Will you do page 312?
Yeah. 312. What's funny is I'm trying to do this because I'm married to Jen. I'm trying to do this without breaking the spine of the book. Okay, 312. Here you go.
Oh, he's so depressed and just
Yep. We've also got the the spa slug one is also one of my favorites. I've been working with piano and stickers, and she's turned it into a meme where it's like treat yourself, and it's Richard at the spa.
That
don't
one
know
cracked
which-
me up.
Yeah.
He's got a little towel around his head.
Here we go. Spa, Richard.
That's pretty great.
he's got the
Yeah, it's a little bit.
covers on his eyeballs.
Yeah. So I came up with that. So my last book before Stumbling Up was Potions and Perils. It's a cozy fantasy, like a sapphic cozy fantasy, and it's witchy. And one of my friends, Kat, knew somebody who did like adult coloring books, like witchy adult coloring books. And we reached out to this lady, Amy, and we're like, hey, we're doing this book. Would you like be interested in like grouping up with us and like we put some of your art, like we'll pay for some of your art in the chapters. And the lady just donated a bunch of witchy art to us to put in the chapters, and it just was like this cute little like extra touch. So when I got Morpheus as my cover artist and I started talking to him about that, he was like, oh yeah, we could do something about it. And he listed a price that was reasonable enough that was like, okay, we're just gonna do it. I'm not gonna think about it. Cost wise, we're just gonna do it because it's gonna look good, and have not regretted it. So yeah, it's a lot of fun. So we're gonna have a lot more like Richard Slug stickers and memes and stuff. It's gonna be good.
Can't have enough, Richard. Never enough.
Yeah. So Jeremy, what is one of your? I think you like Leo, but was he your favorite character to narrate? What's your favorite character that you narrated for it?
You know what? I do like doing even the AI. Just the AI is a lot of fun. And finding the difference between the times that the AI is just, giving the information. This is what you're doing. You're leveling up. This is exciting. And then having those times where it's kind of reluctantly saying like, great, you're doing this. And you're having a banana slug in your party is definitely not helping you out too much. That's that. And then getting all the way to, well, I won't spoil later in the book, but I really like playing up that character a bit.
Yeah.
And interactions.
I like
Well,
the
the audio-
dynamic between Richard and the system.
Yeah.
The audio is coming out tomorrow. Is
It's
that?
already out.
It's out.
It actually came out this morning.
Oh, I hadn't checked. Oh,
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I know what I'm doing tonight. Woohoo.
Yeah, that was a lot of stress and wondering because we didn't get to know. It was with the last 3 days. It's like, well, it looks like it might happen, but it might be a week off. We don't really know.
Yeah, I insist that Richard must have pulled some strings with ACX gods
Yeah.
for it to come out. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't answer that as what was the most stressful part of release or the launch.
I mean, there were some circumstances outside of our control that led to some question mark about whether the audio was going to come out or not. And like at some point you just let go, because it's like, well, it's either going to happen or it's not. And if it's not, it's not. I mean, like people, it's not going to be that big of a deal, I mean, like people still get the audio. It just might be a couple extra days or a week later or whatever, right? Yeah, sometimes the stress is just so there that you're just like, meh, I'm gonna go to the spa and put cucumbers on my eyes. Yeah. It is incredible how, I'm an indie. I've been using this phrase, like I'm an indie, like I'm doing it myself. I don't have Legion or Aethon or whatever, doing this. So I'm organizing stuff with Morpheus. I'm working with Jeremy. My spouse is just like a thank you, Jen, because they are doing the formatting and they did a bunch of the ACX setup and so like we're just doing it ourselves. And it is crazy how much just like, I'm sure if you're Aethon and you release 400 books a year, it's not a big deal. But like as somebody doing it yourself and you've only done it a couple times, it's the first time I've done audio. It was just a big learning curve, and lining up everything is rough. It's hard. So
Yeah, I mean, as far as I've heard, there's a lot of times that ACX has sent stuff back and like,
yeah.
So.
Well, and that's where like I just want to hand it to Jessica and Jeremy for just doing such a quality job. I don't think that the quality of sound was ever really, that was not a concern. It was just whether they were going to do their review quick enough to put it out there. Yeah. Yeah.
That's pretty amazing. Like
Yeah.
right on, Jeremy. Right on, Jessica. Did you guys do your own engineering?
No. We hire out all the engineering.
Okay. But hey, what a great team. You didn't have to go back and adjust anything and they accepted it.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Is that, do things like that get kicked back often? Or is it once you've done a few books, this is not what you do because you want it to go through?
Books will get kicked back early when people are just getting started with that thing, but we use engineers that's the job, is to hit those specs in the end. In addition to all the other editing and mastering that they're doing, they're going to hit those specs. And so once in a while I'll have something get kicked back for some odd little, maybe something doesn't match. I had one got kicked back because they changed the subtitle. And so what I narrated was not what they ended up putting into the system, which is just weird things like that. But it's very odd for something like that to happen. So when I submit it, I expect that it's done.
Nice.
Yeah. Yeah. Which is, yeah, it was good. It went really through the ACX process pretty fast, from expectations. I think too, March may be a time of year where there's not as much going through the system. It's not like pre-holiday or something like that too. So some of the longer time frames might be more for busier times of the year, but yeah,
True.
It worked out. Yeah, but I really love, when you're listening to the book, it's a duet, and it sounds like the two of you are just in the same room talking back and forth with each other, which is just like, it just sounds so good. No clue that you're on like different sides of the of the world, different sides of the country at least, like doing it in your booths independent of each other. How hard is it to bring the emotion to moments where maybe the character that you're playing that emotion off of isn't actually being voiced?
It can be tougher, because if I'm doing both characters, I can build on that emotion back and forth. And of course, if you have somebody else to work with, where if we were actually in the same booth, being able to do that, that would be great. But having to put out the emotion and start to build, and then just kind of pause, and I'm kind of reading through what the other person's supposed to say and kind of, making it up as I go, and then continuing on. It could be a little bit. Definitely get used to it as we go through, and understanding how different characters are going to react with in those circumstances. But it would be a lot easier, if we could do all in the same room.
Yeah.
If I can get Jessica to move to Reno, that'd be great.
Yeah, somehow I just don't think that's.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, it's got to be a thing. I have a pretty heavy like female cast too. Like, there's quite a few female parts in it. So it's not. I mean, there's a lot of Cole, but there's definitely these big moments. A lot of the emotional moments have Tandy or Meredith or Ree or somebody else. Yeah. Yeah. One of the things I didn't really necessarily appreciate is that Something Up actually has a pretty wide cast for first book one. That's actually been a couple of the comments today where people have been listening. They're like, there's a lot of people I got to keep track of. Maybe this is not a good multitasking book. It's like, yeah. But do you have any tricks for keeping all the voices straight, or like what's your process there?
Well, the simplest one is anytime a new character gets introduced, I'm recording. I'm taking a copy of what I said in their voice and putting it in a new file, so that every time that character comes back, I can jump back to that and listen to it again and kind of go back and forth, which is the only way that I can do it, especially when I have kind of 3 or 4 newer characters all talking together. And then after every statement, I have to go back and listen. Okay, what was that exactly? Okay, and then do the next line and keep going back and forth.
Yeah.
And then again, go back to and try to fall back into making it sound like a rhythm, going back and forth, and it's all happening at the same time with following that.
You have your
Later
own
into the
spreadsheet.
book, it becomes easy. What's that?
You have your own spreadsheet.
Yeah.
Absolutely. When it gets to the end of the book, it's a lot easier. Like, this is Cole, this is Leo, this is Richard. I know. So they're just meeting one new person. Okay, I just have to know one new voice. That's fine.
Yeah.
And as the series goes on, it'll definitely get easier.
Yeah.
How many series do you normally work on in like per month or per year?
How many series?
Yeah. Like, how many times do you have to go back to like a different, be like, oh, who is that character? What do they sound like? Or
very often.
yeah.
Very often. I think in a couple months, I'm going to get a book 2 of a series that I started in the summer of last year.
Oh, wow.
So, like, there's a lot of, what was going on? I remember a lot of the main characters, but having to go back and find all of that stuff.
Mhm.
And especially with these big cast books, it's 3 months ago I did those. So there's a lot of trying to remember them.
Yeah. Yeah, hopefully book 2, because I think our schedule is you're probably going to start here in like a week or 2, and it won't be too long. Won't be too tough to get those voices locked back in. Yeah.
Which actually will help me a lot to be more solid on all those voices, so that book 3, if that's going to be a few months out, I'll still have a strong memory of them.
I'll let you know once I get rolling. Yeah, so I actually want to talk with Brian here. Was actually one of the people that helped, because so when we were picking the voice of Richard's he is the franchise, right? And when we were talking about Richard, we had a couple iterations of him going back and forth about like how we wanted his voice to kind of show. And I think the first, I was talking to Jen, I was like, yeah, that first voice was kind of like a Boston Rob almost. It was just a little bit more in your face. And yeah, Joel, you've listened to the book too. I don't know what your thoughts on Richard was, but
So
we should talk about Richard's voice a little.
I would say that like I don't know like who's voicing Richard, but like doesn't matter who's voicing him, they don't sound like what I would imagine his character as, if that makes sense. So like for me, I'm thinking Richard as this like 500-year-old like
Old man.
ancient slug old man voice in my head. So
Like
it's
Pop
very
Pop.
weird to have that and then contrast it to like yeah, what different people have done. So
yeah, there's been a couple iterations of Richard, right? Yeah. Yeah, Brian, do you want to talk about I think you're the one that put out the name of the person that we're kind of basing the voice off of.
Oh, I was like, oh, this is what I hear. It's Paul Lynde from the Hollywood Squares. The same sense of humor, the let me drop some knowledge, but then walk away talking about it. You know, it's definitely that later vaudeville, 70s Hollywood sound, and Paul Lynde was absolutely the voice that came up in my head for Richard.
Yeah,
I think it fits really well.
yeah,
That idea, how he works. Yeah,
it's that kind of like, I'm going to tell you what you need to know, but you're going to hear in my voice the judgment.
Right.
Yeah. It works for him. It's gonna be interesting because in book 2 we've got another animal companion that joins the crew, and I honestly don't know whether it's gonna be Jeremy or Jessica that narrates it, because like technically the monster's like a she, they, like how do you really gender like this monster, right? But like it's this abyss monster that ends up joining the crew, and so it's like it's got this rumbly voice that could totally be on the more masculine side, or I don't know. It's gonna be fun.
I hear one particular individual.
Okay.
Do you want me to say who?
Yeah,
I
sick. Put it out there.
Arthur.
Oh my god.
Mod all the way.
Oh my god, yes.
Jen's a big Golden Girls fan. They would probably love that. B, I didn't think about B. Yeah, but you're probably
That's only two I hear. I won't. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure B. Arthur was on the Hollywood Squares as well at some point. So
I need to go watch Hollywood Squares. Yeah. Okay. I'll have to think about that. Yeah, because I actually like wrote in my spreadsheet that I wanted the voice tonal quality to be like the Indian woman in Expanse, Christian.
I'm on 4.
Yeah, I'm on 4. Yep. Just kind of that like rumbly sort of,
Ooh, yeah.
maybe not the accent. I'm not sure.
Yeah, but
we have Indian.
that's deep, like right in your chest.
Yeah. So that's gonna be a fun character. It's interesting because actually, as I've gone through edits, I've changed the tone of the character, because in the first draft it was a little too close to Richard, so I was trying to differentiate the two animal companions a little bit more, and so and play up some more of the comedy. So thank you, Yeah, Christian Afrasarala is the name of the character on the Expanse. So it's Shori. I don't know
yeah,
if I can.
Amanpour is the one that's online, who's like the actual real woman who does news, right?
Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, so I mean it's gonna be fun. Something I didn't expect
Sorry,
being an
my
author
dog
was
is
trying to
like
pick voices.
going crazy. I
Is
don't know
kind
if
of
you can hear
wild.
that or not.
A little, yeah. Picking voices is kind of wild.
Yeah.
So
Honestly, I
it's
just
sold
want
out.
to voice it because they're fun. But well, it sounds like it might be more of a Jessica voice. We'll see.
Yeah. We'll have to like live stream some arm wrestling or something.
Yeah.
We'll put it up to a poll.
Have a voice off.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's not a bad idea. Get a few different voices up and have everyone on Royal Road vote on it because they're
Yeah,
great
but
at
then we'll
voting
get
on
Bodie
things.
McBoatface.
This is true.
Rex having nightmares.
Oh no.
Who all here is going to LitCon?
I will be at Lit RPG Con.
Yeah, I think we all will. Yeah.
I'll be there.
Yay.
Yeah.
That's exciting. Okay.
So we talked about the characters, talked about the abilities, the chapters. And talk about the combat or the so like one of the things that come to my mind would be like the gross tummy dungeon that they start off with.
Okay. Yeah. Gross tummy dungeon. That's a good. Yeah, that's a good description.
You're like
of it.
that's a
Yeah.
description.
Yeah.
No, like I really liked the combat. I think that Cole really has a way of like spur of the moment ideas that just work somehow. It's very cool to see. It's like lighting the spider on fire and like playing dead. Well, I don't know whose idea that was, but like it somehow worked out.
You know, his character, I think Joel, you're one of the people that's like, I want him to have the power. You know,
I do. But
you want him
like,
to be this OP.
that's what I'm rooting for.
Yeah.
But I know that's not the writing style you're going for.
Well,
so
it's
I don't know.
whether or not he eventually gets there, it's fun to write these characters into a situation that they really should not survive or shouldn't they have to be creative in figuring out how to outmatch the tummy the tummy monster, right? Like they have to figure out how to handle these situations in unconventional ways because they just don't have the OP, the conventional OP. I'm just gonna one punch you, like they just don't have that in their repertoire. Or the person that could do that is bleeding out in the corner because they got hit by a falling rock or something, or they got tripped by Richard or whatever, right? So yeah, it gets uncomfortable. They have to be creative. I think that, and this is a personal complaint that most, I think, lit RPG readers maybe don't have, but I've read a lot for the podcast and just for myself, and fight scenes are some of the it's like if you read a bunch of romances, you get like to the point where you're like skipping the sex scene because it's like I start skipping the fight scene or the system update because it's not exciting because you already know what the end result's going to be, right? And so I really took that as kind of this challenge to figure out like what would keep you invested in this fight scene. Well, for me in this book, it's like the mystery of how the heck are they going to survive? Like, what's actually going to happen here? Because it's not going to be just like a one-hit punch, right? And then the reward for whatever that is that they figure out how to do is directly tied to how they figured it out, right? Like Cole's upgrades are not random treasure chest afterward. It's all linked back to like how he's progressing, how he's dealing with situations and like growing, right?
Yeah.
And
I think
yeah.
that's something that Richard brings up is like with his dead wrong skill. He's like, yeah, this is a skill, and like the more you use it, the more it'll upgrade, and you've not been careful about how you use this skill.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
it's definitely very interesting system wise to see something like that.
Yeah. I wanted a system that was, and this goes back to Jeremy, a little human. And a lot more. I think one of the things that I love about Lit RPG is that it's not a video game. That we are not programmatically constricted in how our systems work, and that you can personalize it and you can make it more meaningful and less maybe logical. And I wanted to put that kind of human, a little bit of chaos, a little bit of like fuck you energy into the system, and like how the system operates and engages with everybody. I think that it's easy to get stuck in a we all read some of the crunchier lit RPGs that like sometimes that's really satisfying, where you just have like very similar system updates all the time, and that progression gives you that dopamine hit, right? But sometimes that's boring.
He's put the crunch in for pop.
Yeah.
You just gotta tease him a little.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. You won't find, I try to keep like the system updates similar in how they're constructed, but it's not necessarily a copy paste of language at all. Every system updates its own little, and it's like got its own attitude depending on how much the system actually approves of what's happening or not.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely
I
has
like
its
that.
own personality to it.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a crunchy individual. I don't like the crunchy as much as another. So I really enjoyed getting into Stumbling Up for the fact that cozy is the wrong word, but that aspect of all of the progression happening being narrated in that way, it suited me. That was an aspect
It's
that
not
really
this impersonal voice, it's this more human. Yeah.
Yes.
Honestly, the system voice was one of the ones that Jeremy and I talked about a lot too. Because there's differentiation in like how much the system's actually paying attention to the update, and how that voice comes across. And I wanted him to be kind of a grumpy old man a little bit. Yeah. But yeah, I would say on a lit RPG scale, I wanted it to be a little bit crunchier than Wandering End. But I didn't necessarily want people to have to do math. And I don't think that my characters, I mean, Tandy could do math, but Cole and Leo were not going to sit. I mean, they have consistently, like, if it was a math problem, everybody would figure it out, right? Like, this is not a math problem. This is a emotional, like messy life problem, right? On how to upgrade.
Leo is progressing. He judges his by like how tight his armor is starting to feel.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's swole.
Team abs.
I'm gonna at some point I'm gonna have him put that damn sweater back on, and it's just gonna be a cutoff.
It's a baby doll sweater.
Yeah.
Oh, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's what's gonna happen. He's like, I'm back on team.
Did you wash that in warm water?
Yeah.
Yeah, really test Tandy's skills on that one.
I'm sure she could figure it out.
I'm sure.
Well,
but would she, or would she just let him suffer?
I think she'd start pulling the yarn out, just like balling it back up. It's time to start over.
Make a little fringe edge for him.
Maybe she even shrunk it on purpose, just to Stick it to
Yes.
him. Yeah.
Does anyone have any final thoughts before we start wrapping up? Is there anything that you'd like to cover? Any
Just
questions?
congratulations. Such a happy day. It's wonderful.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yes. Congratulations again, Reck and Jeremy.
High five across the interwebs.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I really thanks. I mean, Stacy, you've helped quite a bit. You're one of our main folks commenting on Patreon and like following along and doing the braille and like being a part of it. Brian's been like a just steadfast first reader and 3 a.m. question answerer. But like both of you, Stumbling Up wouldn't be here right in the shape that it's in and have such depth to it without the two of you. So thank you. Seriously.
You're welcome. It doesn't feel like I've done anything but just enjoy. So
That's how it should be, right? You do things that you enjoy doing, and then something comes out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Jeremy, you've been amazing to have on the team, and just like, yeah, it's so cool to be able to hit play on Audible and hear your voice. Being Richard or Cole or Leo or whoever, right? Like coming right out of my phone. It's been amazing.
I am incredibly lucky to be given the chance to be part of this.
Yeah.
I think it's fantastic.
You knocked it out of the park.
yeah.
Mhm.
I've got my shocks ready when this is over.
You're like, I'm loading in.
Yes.
Yeah. Ironically, it's so funny because I hit play and the first voice you hear is Jessica.
Yeah.
Like the first word is like Marta yelling at Cole for being late to work.
Yeah.
Ironically, I think the last words in the series are gonna have to be like, Jessica berating Cole for something. I don't know. Think about that.
Marta yelling at Cole for dropping something.
Yeah, that's right. So thanks, Joel, for having us on and for hosting. I really appreciate it. Yeah, this has been fun.
Thank you for coming on and celebrating this momentous occasion.
Yeah.
Thank you, Stacy and Brian, for joining us, and Jeremy. Thank you. Thank you, audience, for dropping by and hanging out.
Yeah.
And on that note,
yeah,
have a good one.
Real
Bye.
quick though, I've got
Sure.
Ryan Maxwell on at 7 Central, which is 8 Eastern, and then at 8 Central, 9 Eastern, right? I'm going to go live on TikTok tonight with Jeremy, and we're just going to talk about Stumbling Up, and you guys should join us. And I don't know, we'll have some fun on TikTok. So see you guys tonight.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Bye.
All right.
Good night.
Bye.
Bye.